Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Thank you for joining us again on our regular Sunday and um, Thursday walks in the jungle of absurdity that surrounds us at the moment. And I want to bring this to the attention because it's important to realize how definitions can be changed and how the changing of the definitions can impact you as a in terms of your health, but also your connection with what you term reality to be. So recently, you will find that there has been a beauty pageant, which is predominantly female. In fact, it's a women's beauty pageant, in which a male who identifies as a woman and has and is obese, meaning is suffering from obesity, um, is deemed as the champion or the winner of that pageant. And it's these absurdities that are now becoming evident. The absurdities that were there last year, where you couldn't work, you couldn't go out unless you'd had this irreversible intervention, it was an absurdity. And it's an absurdity that we bought into, or many people bought into. And the consequences of those who are bought into are becoming blatantly apparent. So, absurdities, going with absurdities, has a consequence. And the consequence is always you. The consequence is always your health. The consequence is always your quality of life. And these absurdities need to be questioned, need to be identified, need to be questioned, but with a view of does it align with me or not? Not with through the emotional engagement, not through the anger, the hostility, but just does this align with me or not? And if it doesn't, it needs to be questioned, and you need to decide, like I need to decide, where we sit, where we reside. Life is finite, right? We need to recognize this. Life is finite. You and I are not going to be here for longer than our allotted number of breaths, whatever those allotted number of breaths are, whether it's one, whether it's 100 from now, or it's a million from now. But our breath is our measurement of life. So as our breath begin to diminish day by day, we become closer to this exit point. So life is finite. Because life is finite, it means it has a value. Those things which are finite have a value. Those which are abundant, which are everywhere, have no value. So the question one needs to ask now in this culture of absurdity is, where do I stand? Where do I invest my attention, and in exchange of what? What is the exchange? What is the exchange? If I spend 2 hours protesting about oil, or protesting about whatever it may be, or politically making a particular campaign, leading something, investing my time, investing my life. The question to ask is, what is it that I have earned from that? What is it that I have earned from that? What is it that I can that is left with me? And we're not talking about memories, because memories are only selective. What are you exchanging it for? And this question is going to become prominent, extremely prominent, as we go through this conscious transition that we identified 2.5 years ago as a paradigm change. Call it a reset, call it a paradigm change. It is the way life used to be. It ain't going to be Kansas anymore. And we are now in that transitional process. And that transitional process has an outcome, has an unfolding that cannot be determined. That cannot be determined by those who wish to exercise control through the digital currencies, through your health passport, through restriction of traveling, through restriction of work, by labeling you X, Y, and Z. That absurd reality is a choice now that we need to make. Every human being needs to make. Do I identify with that which at the core is simply ego trips? And Guru Nanak identifies this in the teachings, the wisdom teachings, that the root cause of human conflict and human illness is their ego, is their sense of self, it's their obmes, their self-concern, this constant um, infatuation with themselves, this constant coming back to themselves. And the mind is connected with your physiology, irrespective of what your medicine teaches you. And because when the sense of self is stimulated in any way, whether it's excitement or whether it is threat, whether it is anger, whether it is fear, whether it is laughter, whether it is crying, every single emotion that we experience changes our physiology immediately. And the experience of emotion begins with the mind. So, and with the mind, it begins with the sense of self, the whole man. So once we begin to recognize that the conflict around us, the hardships that we are facing, are simply ego trips of individuals in power that can exert their arrogance, their power, irrespective of the consequence it has of sentient life. It's this absurdity which will also become more apparent as we clear our own uh, internal pollution of this sense of self, this ego. As this is being stripped out of us layer by layer, not because want to, because it's being done now. We had a choice, we didn't listen, and now it is being done. And this stripping of the sense of self, this stripping of all that you thought would provide us with safety and security, all that you thought was certain, is now unfolding into an uncertainty. And that uncertainty creates again a huge drama for the sense of self because it requires safety, it requires security. So it immediately looks for those things it can attach itself to. So it can attach itself to the external savior. It can attach itself to the people in power. It can attach itself to those who are opposition to the power. It doesn't matter what you attach yourself to. The bottom line is it all begins with you. It all begins where you and I are. It all begins where we are. And it only takes one flame to burn a forest. So if we all took a responsibility to work with ourselves, then we may realize that that investment that we are making, that little investment, what am I getting for it? If I invest 20 minutes in meditation, what am I getting for it? What is my profit out of it? And the profits are one, your health, two, peace of mind, three, a sense of calmness, and most importantly, a contribution to the cosmic conscious space that we are all at the moment experiencing, a space in which it is not consumed by conflict, it is not consumed by disharmony, but it is now experiencing some level of balance, some level of zen. So we are now responsible and becoming more and more aware that our individual responsibility isn't recycling things in different bins that's making us the ethical individuals. It's our sense of self. It's moving beyond this ego trip that we all have, which is part and parcel of our function. which is part and parcel of how we live through life, but to accept it as what you are and your reality, that's the illness. Because the moment you do that, you begin to defend it. You begin to defend ideas which are absurd. You begin to defend things which are blatantly untrue, and invest so much time, so much energy in those things that give you nothing, leave you with nothing, apart from the ego either feeling defeated or feeling that it has got one over on another. So, this egoic sense of self, as it is being purged out, is also creating a huge space, which is how to live in a world in which we can live healthily, not consumed by our ego, but to use the mind, which is also another word I would use for your egoic complex, but to use your mind rather than to be used by your mind. And the only way you will prevent yourself from being used by your mind is first recognize what your mind is, and that begins with your meditation. That begins to recognizing also the content, what are the um, structure of the mind, and you will realize that the structure of mind only fits in one of these four categories. Sense of self through the thoughts, which may be words, sounds, or images. Um, Memory, which is basically information that you have collated or that's being collated and stored, managed. But discrimination, intellect, the ability to discriminate, to analyze, and this whole, all three of these collectively together with the notion that you are, you exist. And that is the definition of your inner space. My inner space, your inner space. And that inner space is what the structure, the geometrical pattern of harmony, the structure is contained within this crucible. And that then becomes the dominant driver. And if that's the dominant driver, then not are you just contributing to the disharmony, but you're contributing to your own internal disharmony. So this is our learning how to step back from all that which keeps us entertained. So we'll begin with our meditation with that understanding of how do we step back? How do we step back? And so once again, we begin with becoming centered ourselves, centering ourselves with our body. And to center yourself, you simply become aware of your posture. Align your back, so moving it gently, allowing it to be erected rather than rigid. And then if you pull your shoulders back somewhat, but again, not too much, just enough to open the chest. And follow your arms down to your hands, and you will find if there's any discomfort there. And then move your focus to your eyes. Notice that they are closed, and notice the darkness, the awareness. Notice the noticer. And then notice that the mouth is closed. And on your next breath in, bring your focus to your whole posture as best as you can. And see if there's anything that's dominant within the posture of your body. Something within, perhaps an ache, sometimes heat, sometimes a sense of coolness, tightness, an itch, an ache, a pain. Just see what's going on with the body itself. Okay. Next breath in, bring your focus to the seat you're on. And allow yourself to be held, to be supported and for you to be able to let go, so you are held by whatever you're sitting in. And now, just to locate ourselves somewhat here in the now, bring your focus to your body as a whole. Next breath out, becoming aware of the room that you're in. Allow yourself to also be there. Just awareness, awareness of the environment around you, the room, the four walls that hold you. Next breath out, see if you can expand your awareness so you become aware of the building that holds you. Next breath out, expanding your awareness to become aware of the city that holds you. And then becoming aware of the country that holds you. Surrounded by water, becoming aware of the earth that holds you. Becoming aware of the solar system that holds the earth that holds you. And then becoming aware as best as you can, the galaxy, the infinite space that holds all of this, that holds you here. Notice there are sensations where your body makes contact, immediate contact with whatever you see. And then as you breathe out, allow this awareness to move up. As you breathe out, allow this awareness to move down your thighs. That same awareness that was aware of the whole universe, traveling now from your knees towards your ankle. Notice your feet. Notice the soles of your feet. Notice that your back is straight and upright. Shoulders, arms, moving down. Your awareness from the shoulders down to your elbows. From your elbows, moving your awareness down to your wrists. Notice the palms. And then bringing your focus to your fingers. Simple body scan, making awareness the searchlight. From your fingers, move your focus to your eyes. Recognize awareness itself, that which is aware. Awareness simply is. As you breathe out, allow this part of the body to soften. As the breath comes in, becoming aware of your mouth. Notice your tongue. Allow your tongue to soften. And as you breathe out, allow your face to soften. Next breath in, once again becoming aware of the body as best as you can. Notice if there's anything that's dominant. And now gently moving your focus as you breathe into your inner space. The field of awareness in which thoughts and emotions reside. Your internal body, your subtle body. Bring your focus towards your thoughts. What's around your thoughts? What's currently there? What thoughts are dominant, if any? How does your mental space feel? Do you feel alert? Do you feel drowsy? Bringing your focus now towards your chest. Begin to notice the movement of the chest in rhythm with the breath. Notice the subtle sensations that accompany the movement of your breath and the chest. Sensations around your ribs. Sensations deeper into you, around your lungs, around your back. Subtle. Notice how the sensations are constantly changing. Sensations changing as the breath moves in, as the breath moves out. And now moving your focus a bit deeper into your chest, as best as you can. Begin to notice how you're feeling. How does it feel right this moment? What words would you use to describe exactly how it feels right this moment? Do you feel settled? Do you feel unsettled? Are you suffering or are you out of suffering? On your next breath out, gently opening your awareness to all the sounds around you. And begin to listen. Listen as to all the sounds, the loud ones and the subtle ones. Using the sound of the bell to move us deep into the silence. When you're ready, bring your focus just beneath your nose and begin to notice the breath. Watching the in-breath moving in, watching the out-breath moving out. Notice how the breath breathes by itself. Notice that your in-breath has a start and an end, out-breath has a start and an end. See if you can notice that. Refining our focus. Noticing the in-breath having a start and an end, noticing the out-breath having a start and an end. As you begin to follow your out-breath all the way till the end, notice the little gap before the in-breath begins. See if you can notice that. When the out-breath stops before the in-breath begins. The little gap in between. See if you can notice that. Refining your awareness. Stay with your breath. Notice a little gap at the end of your out breath before the in breath begins. How long does it last? On your next breath out, bring your focus to the sound of your breath. Listening, listening as best as you can to the in breath as it comes in, listening as best as you can to the out breath as it goes out. Listening, listening to the in breath as it comes in, listening to the out breath as it goes out. And every time you get distracted, notice the distraction, whether it is a thought, a sensation, or a sound, bringing your focus back to your breath. Notice the more you intensely listen, the more peace you experience. As you listen, the mind becomes quiet. Listening, listening to the in breath as it comes in, listening to the out breath as it goes out. On your next breath out, once again opening your awareness to all the sounds around you, listening, including the sound of your breath. And allowing each bell to move us deeper and deeper into the silence. Just listening, following. Allow yourself to immerse in the silence at the end of the breath. alert yet relaxed. Stay with the sound. Notice the distraction. Come back to the silence. Gently bring your focus just beneath your nose, sitting with your breath. If you feel peaceful, notice the peace. If you're experiencing silence, then notice the silence. Allow your focus to immerse in the quality of your experience. Notice the peace, the silence, the stillness of this moment. That vast space that holds us also exists within us, silent. No form, no time, no fear, no image. Presence. The same presence that holds all this together is also you. Next breath out, expanding your awareness. Notice your body as best as you can. Notice you're still sitting in the same place you began. Awareness of sensations when your body makes contact with whatever you're sitting on. And then using those contact, those sensations as a reference point, move your focus up towards your hips. Allow it to flow down your thighs towards your knees, gently bringing awareness to different parts of your body. From your knees, move down towards your ankles. Notice your feet. Notice the source of your feet. Coming back to your seat. Notice the back is straight and upright. Shoulders, arms, hands are relaxed and comfortable. Eyes are still closed, mouth is still closed, and your face is relaxed. Coming back to your breath. And now as the breath moves in, we sense our body. As the breath moves out, we sense our body. And then setting the intention. So when you hear the next bell, you can use this bell to draw some deep breaths in. And in your really good moment, open your eyes. Take your time.